the weekend. It's Mailbag. I am joined this week by Warren, Foxy, and here he comes. Look at that for timing. Matt Barry.
Great timing, Matt.
Look at that.
Just connecting. He's here. He's any second. There he is.
Absolutely wonderful. There he is. So yeah, we were just hanging on Matt there, but he's joined just in time. Consummate professional, aren't you, Matt?
Do you know what? I got proper first world problems. Zoom's not working on the laptop, so I've had to go on the iPad.
Oh, mate.
It's like honestly, Tim Cahill arriving in the boxer.
Proper first world problems. I'm running around going, oh my God. You all right, everyone?
All good, man. Yeah. Are you, apart from your technical deficiencies?
I'm all right. I've been off since Tuesday, so I've had a lovely few days.
Oh, when I've
and then, I've just really, for the first time in a long time, gone into completely switched off mode, which is amazing. Yeah. Which is very unlike me. So
Zoom off a lot.
Yeah.
Very liberating, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been great, to be honest. But yeah, I just went into all of a sudden panic. Then I just can't log on to anything. But
well, you're here now, and we can get going. Before we do, I've got big news. So I've got new bins. This is going to be great for the podcast. So I've got these ones. They're pretty much like my old ones. We've got these ones that I think make me look like a serial killer, if I'm honest.
I don't know.
It's an acquired taste. That's all I'm going to say.
I do think you can pull them off. I do think. I mean, there is a little bit of Sergi Barlow's going on there, but I do think you can pull them off.
There is. That's more than it, isn't it?
You can see that on the Rosemary poster, couldn't you?
What was that?
You can see that on the Rosemary poster.
Mr. Both again. Foxy, go.
I should say, you can see it on a wanted poster. You know, you get like FBI most wanted. Someone's killed 25 people out in Tennessee. Like
it's very much that vibe, isn't it, Matt? What were we saying?
It's a bit Rosemary West for me.
Rosemary West. Not even bread.
Serial killer. Do you know what?
They're gone.
I'll put the other ones back on. So
it's a safe space, Les. It's fine.
Anyone listening to the podcast, watch that on YouTube, and you'll see that I look like Marlowe and Rose West. Right, we'll kick off. So there's a bit of confusion about this question. I was hamstrung a little bit by Twitter word counts. So we just said, who would be your zombie festival headliner? By that, what I meant was pick a dead artist. Basically, you'd love to headline a festival. This is obviously because Glastonbury's on this week. Matt, last in, first on. Who would you have?
See, this is one of those questions where you get like pick 3 out of 15, and they're all going to be incredibly amazing artists, and you just like Biggie Smalls, like Michael Jackson, people like that. But it's a tough one. I mean, I'd have to say the Beatles. I would probably say Biggie Smalls. I would probably say Elvis. That's very eclectic, I know, but that would probably be,
some headline acts. So they're on different stages at the same time. What one are you going to? Just stand in the middle and hope for the best.
Yeah. Yes. Probably the Beatles.
Yeah.
Probably.
Fair.
Tough shot.
Close though. Foxy?
I went for a very literal answer. Just kind of thought the Cranberries with Zombie.
Fair enough.
You're kind of doing everything there, right? But in terms of bands, not necessarily dead, but not together, probably REM, just from a kid. I have this thing where I think the music you grew up with between the ages of like 16, 22 is the stuff you stick with. And I'm too much of an old fart now, kind of be thinking about new stuff. So anything that's come out since about 2002, I haven't got a clue. My daughter really loves the Arctic Monkeys, but they came out about 2005, so that's too modern for me. I can't get the Arctic Monkeys. If they come out like 5 years before, be fine, but it's too modern.
I'm the same.
So anything pre-2002, stuff I get into. I think in terms of like properly dead people, if I could see Bowie, I would, that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Not just half dead people.
It's fully gone. Yeah.
Fully properly dead. Yeah.
Can I add the Stone Roses in the half dead people, because Ian Brown is like dead but alive now, isn't he?
I'm going to see Ian Brown in Liverpool in October, I think it is, in the Montfort Hall, which is a cracking venue. I'm just hoping he doesn't just go full anti-vax weirdo and doesn't play any of his newer stuff. Just play stuff off the first 3 albums, mate. That will do. And don't talk. That will be fine.
That'd be all right.
Yeah, that'd be sound. Warren, who are you going with?
I'm with Kurt Cobain because I didn't really understand the question, and you've pointed it out now, so I understand it now. And I was sitting there just while the other two were answering. Made up you went to them two first, by the way. And I've been listening to a lot more Nirvana lately. I wasn't really into it when I was younger, and I think as you get older as well, when you're a kid, I don't know if you were the same, when you're a kid, you hear the song and it's the melody that gets you, or the sound. You don't really listen to the lyrics. But as you get older, you start, when you're a bit more wise and a bit more aware, you start listening to lyrics. And very, very decent lyrics, Nirvana. So I'd say that, I think obviously with the Foo Fighters connection as well, and the Foo's obviously brilliant. So I'd go with that, go with our Katie boy and see them live. That'd be good.
That's a shout. That's who we put in the GIF as well for the tweet. That was to try and sort of give everyone a bit of a clue what I meant. Because I'm not sure if I knew what I meant. Funnily enough, I have been listening to a lot of REM and Nirvana. Like you, Warren, I missed Nirvana at the time, really. It sort of passed me by. And Foxy, I think you're right about sort of music you listen to between those age groups. That's what you stick with. That's why we're all 90s arlasses on this, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I've seen REM once, saw them in Portugal.
You almost saw them twice, right?
I did almost see them twice, yeah. Brilliant live. I think my choice would be possibly Nirvana, possibly George Michael.
Do you know what? I was going to say George Michael, because I think, and he's one of them you'd appreciate more now he's gone, as horrible as that is to say. I didn't really appreciate him when he was around, but really do now. Really good fella. Yeah. George
slinking across the stage, doing some wham stuff as well. Yeah. All over that and be cut down short and Theodora Borg trainees. Right, here we go. This one is based on the fact that there's loads of concept kits knocking about. And I just wish the club would let us know what it looks like at least. They don't have to let us buy it now. Just let us know what it looks like so we can just shut all that down. So Warren, I'll come to you first on this one. What is your favourite ever Everton kit?
Remember, I've been on Mailbag before when we've had this question.
I thought we'd had it before. I was struggling this one.
I do remember. I'm going to be boring, give the same answer. For me, it's the first kit I ever had, the 93-94 NEC kit. I loved that kit, even though we nearly went down with it. It was just, when you're a kid, you first starting to love football and you're getting obsessed with it. That was my first ever kit I had. But I do have to say, the kit we had in the second season under Martinez, where it was the blue with the navy socks, I thought that was an absolutely gorgeous kit and very underrated. I think probably because we didn't have a great year that season, probably went under the radar a bit, but I absolutely adored that kit. I thought that was our best kit we've had in years. I think they're very much lately, I think they've very much just been blue and let's add a bit of a pattern on it. I don't think there's been any real thought given to them. So hopefully they come up with something quite unique for the new one, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I think that one always reminds me of the Wolfsburg game. Yeah, just Baines and Coleman being dead.
Yeah, it looked good under the lights, that kit as well. It just looked like a very European classic team,
it was really dark as well, wasn't it, for an Everton
kit? I liked it. It was a proper royal blue as well.
Yeah, good shout. I've got a favourite away kit.
Do you know what kit I don't like? What everyone seems to love. I don't like the salmon and blue.
Do you know?
I don't like the salmon and blue. My favourite one, I think, is the 95. We had it with NEC, but it was also a bit of danker. You know, the white one with the sort of grey mesh.
Tractor print.
Vinny Samway's kit.
Yeah, I love that kit. Look, that's very like, we just won the FA Cup, that kit for me. I like that.
Possibly the greatest ever Wembley goal, that, wasn't it? Vinny Samway's.
Yeah.
About half a dozen people in Wembley because it was Everton v Blackburn and not Tottenham v Man United.
Yeah.
Not the boat. It would have been. No, it was Tottenham Man United.
Tottenham Man United, yeah.
It would have been final. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it would have been, wouldn't
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they'd done double. Anyway, Foxy, what's yours?
I quite like the black and pink one from last season. I know we lost against City, so it's never kind of a good kit after that. But my favourite is the 87-88 yellow NEC.
Yeah, shout.
I've tried to buy that quite a few times. It's just not available, like in kind of retro replica redo kit. So if I could get that one, I'd pay quite a hefty amount of money to get a copy of that kit. If anyone wants to sell,
put it out there. No?
Through the blue room. It's the first game I saw was 87-88 Fratton Park, Portsmouth versus Everton. So it's a colour they were wearing at that game, and it's just a classic. It reminds me of a much happier, or very distant and rose tinted or blue tinted time for Everton. So that's a cracking kit. In terms of home kits, I quite like, and this might be unpopular, the Rooney Kajan blue kit that he scored the goal against Arsenal in. You can kind of think back to that one. It's quite, I forget who made it. It might be Puma.
Puma.
Yeah, it's quite a nice fitting kit, and that's probably a bit thinner back then, so it looked better. But that was a good kit, and it's almost like an Italian feel to it.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was like one of those Kappa kits.
Roma
Yeah.
Lazio shirt.
Yeah. It had that kind of cut to it. So that was it's from my favourite home kit we've had for quite a bit.
Yeah, the black one that season was nice. It was the same one.
Yeah.
The home one, but yeah, that 87 kit as well. All three kits that season were unreal.
Yeah,
so they were all pretty much the same template, weren't they? But the white one you'd never really see with the blue shorts.
I think if the new buyers, if they come in and they just took over NEC and got NEC to sponsor Everton, I think everyone would love them, and we just like crack on. You go see Henry Moore Dock or NEC Finch Farm, perfect.
Yeah,
any kind of Republican tendencies, just forgive it. NEC is fine.
Matt,
what are you going with?
Well, I've split between two. One was the 86-87, so the Tony Cottee shirt, as I will look at it, that one. I loved the Danker shirt that one season after we won the cup. Because that was just remind you of Andrew Kanchelski session. But it was lovely. Everything about it was right. It was the badge was right. The sponsor looked okay. The collar was great.
The socks.
And the blue and black hoop socks as well, which were fantastic. And even the blue away shorts as well on that, Ferguson, Old Trafford, 2-2. That just looks spectacular.
We need to do a season, by the way, and wearing all blue. I think all blue.
Last season, a good incredible. All blue would be amazing. I do. I think it'd be awesome. But the blue NEC, the Umbro V-neck NEC, that was a cracking shirt. That was my first ever shirt. Was the yellow away, so that was a good memory seeing that one. Apart from we washed it so many times that the crest, the laurels around the crest fell off. They got
through. Was it not stitched on?
No, they were glued on. They were. It was like a felt fabric,
like puffy, wasn't it?
Yeah. And they fell fresh on our age now. Yeah. And I washed it so many times that came off. Favorite away, I loved the 2018-19 third shirt, the white one, the all white sport pager with the blue tower on it.
Oh yeah,
that was a cracking shirt. That was.
The one
we never wore it that much, but first game of the season, Palace away, we wore it on there. But just remember watching us against Cardiff, and we won 3-0. The game, Sigurdsson scored twice, and Calvert-Lewin scored from outside the box, and we wore that, and we just immaculate all night. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, good shot that actually. Trying to think of mine. I really should have prepared more for this, shouldn't I? My favourite away kit could be the salmon pink. I remember, like, I've sort of got fond memories of getting that. So I was like the first kid. I've probably said it before. I was the first kid in school to have it because my mum and dad bought it on the day it came out. So I wore it to school the next day under my shirt, which must have been like ridiculous just to go to everyone. Look, I've got it. I think that's possibly my favourite away. Although the Fat Badge aside, that yellow Nike one was dead good as well. The Jaggy Alcaraz kit.
Yeah. The Boca Juniors one.
Yeah,
that was a nice kit. Yeah,
that was good. Home kits. It's got to be the Goodison's 125th anniversary kit.
Yeah. Which should have been a kit for the season. Should have been.
No sponsor.
Is that the Ramirez kit?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I can't go past that.
The Davy Klassen kit.
Yeah.
We're going to come on to him later on.
What shirt was that? Oh, was that the silver one with the squares at the front?
Yeah.
That was a decent kit, actually. I did quite like that.
Yeah, we're going to come on to Mr. Klassen later on, I think.
Right, we'll move on to Foxy's question, which is, what's the biggest scam you got away with at school? So, Foxy, we'll come to you first on this.
So I cheated in my A-levels and ended up coming top in the class, top Sebco. There's some more detail to it than that, but that's pretty much what I did. So when I for A levels, I did history, ancient history, and economics, and they're all essay-based exams. I don't know what they do these days, but back then you had to kind of answer 3 essay questions in 3 hours, like handout writing tons and tons and tons. Because I generally try and do the least amount of work possible to get away with stuff. I never bothered revising a whole syllabus. So if you had a syllabus of 8 things, I'd revise 5 and hope those 5 things came up in the exam. Normally, really great strategy, works generally in life. But for this one, only 2 of the 5 things came up out of the 5 questions, and the other 3 were things I just hadn't bothered looking at. So I quickly panicked and thought about how to tackle it. So I wrote the first essay question perfect, really good essay, wrote it out. And it was in those books with like the little clips in the middle. So you kind of get a book and you can clip it and the paper fall out quite easily. And you finish your book, you get the second book, you clip it together. I don't know if you guys had similar kind of stuff. So I wrote my first one really well, really good essay. I did the introduction for my second one, but I didn't know anything else to write. So I took out the middle pages of the book and got rid of them and did a conclusion, which was okay. And then I third one and submitted it and gave it in. The school and the examining board thought they'd lost the middle. So they marked me on the first and the third one, and they gave me an average for the third one, saying, "Oh, we've lost the paper. We can see you started it and you got a conclusion. We've lost the central part of the book."
Brilliant.
They gave me an average mark for the first and third, and I got a good mark. And I came up in the class, and Seb Coe was doing some prizes at the end of the year, so got the and get the prize off him. And what was really funny, I was good at that subject, and there are loads of other people in the class who are much better than me. Like throughout the year, I was kind of averaging like middle ranking in the group. And I overtook all those people who tried really hard and revised really hard. I came top. That's probably one of my proudest things I've ever done. But also,
excellent scamming that.
that is next level. To actually think of that on the spot in an exam is just something.
I was properly shitting at those because I didn't know what to do for that.
I mean, that in itself has got to be worth an A level.
I would have thought so.
Just to have that sort of mental capacity to think like that. To get an award as well, even better.
Well, it's what SEBCO stands for, isn't it? So I mean, it's kind of.
Well, yeah, exactly. Did you have any guilt?
No, I was quite proud of myself.
That's what I like to hear.
When I got away with it, I was quite panicky because I thought they just kind of go, "We'll mark it properly and won't think he's lost some central pages to just mark it and give on." I would have got like a much lower mark, but when the results came through and then the teachers spoke to me about it afterwards about what had happened, and they apologised to me for losing stuff. We're really sorry. We lost the middle part of your book. So we've spoken to examining people and like we've got it fixed. But okay, no, that's fine. Don't worry.
These things happen.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Accepted it gracefully.
Exactly. That's outrageous, mate. Absolutely love that. Warren?
I was a good boy at school, so I didn't really do any scamming. But I do remember you always get these in every school, the mini entrepreneurs. And I remember, do you remember the wham bars, the little 10p wham bars?
Yeah.
The ones that are long and really for ages. One of the lads, I think his dad had a news agent, or he could order like some sort of Booker's card or macro, whatever it was. And he used to bring in these boxes of wham and iron brew bars. And they were 10p, weren't they? You need to sell them for 20, 30p. And of course, when everyone's eating them and you're not, go on, skills 10p to 10p in the shop, and you can't go to the shop in school. So we used to all buy them. We used to make a fortune as kids. So not really one of my scams, but kind of a scam if you like. But I used to love them, the little weirdo entrepreneurs used to walk about overcharging you for sweets. They were funny then.
Little Del boys.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I do. I was the same as you, and if it ever did anything, I'd always get caught.
Yeah,
I was like terrible at like doing anything wrong.
I was not so much anymore, but I was a proper fear of authority when I was a kid. So I was like always on, yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir, and all that. So
yeah, and do you know what? It's worse if you're good at school and you do get caught doing something wrong. They come down on you so much harder than if it's just some little ball bag who does it all the time.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
That's the worst.
That's the worst.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
There's no buttons to push, don't we? Matt, any scams?
No, I was very much like Warren. I think a lot of the teachers knew my parents, so I was always on the best behaviour because you just didn't want the phone call, or you didn't want So yeah, I saw somebody down the club and they told me this, and you just knew you're going to hammer him.
Did you have a weird thing whereby you'd see the teachers outside of a school context if you were mates?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. So you were just always really wary, and you would just never wanted to be the one. Because your parents were like, you're the bloody showing me up, and people are talking down the club about you and things like that. So you just couldn't do it. You just had to toe the line.
I'm a proper dickhead to our kids. I'm a teacher. I'm a proper dickhead to our kids. When I see them out of school, I'm like, "Hey, how are you? How's your girlfriend? She all right?" And the parents are like looking at me. But I really should calm it down, because when this adult is talking to your child and you don't know who this adult is, it could be considered a little bit weird. So I probably should calm that down. But I'm a proper, I am a dickhead, and you can just see the kids. Oh no, what's he doing? Saying stuff in front of me, mum. So yeah, that's me.
I've had some professional dealings with teachers now in real life, and I still refer to them as sir and miss.
Yeah.
You still do, and like a couple of the lads at work, when you're speaking to one of my old history teacher, Mr. Thomas, like, oh, how are you, miss, blah, blah. And they're like, what are you doing? It's one of my teachers. You still got that level of respect for them.
It never leaves, does it? I've done the same with my teachers. Yeah. Not done it.
Yeah, it's really weird. There's nothing else, wouldn't it?
I think half of mine end up in prison anyway for various different things.
So you did go to Borstal then? Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah.
Ended up there.
I was an accomplice to an assault in the science lab, which I flatly denied being anywhere near it. But do you remember the old science benches with the gas taps on and so on? And you had like the stools with like an oval shape, and you had the cutouts in the middle.
Yeah. And
there was a kid in our class called Peter Ford, who was a right little grass, and he was a rat. And Taylor Morgan went underneath the bench with a compass, the sharp end of the compass, and shoved it right up in the gap in the store. That went straight up to his backside, and he jumped up. He hit it like he did it so forcibly. He jumped up and he smashed his forearm on the side of the science bench, and he fractured his wrist and broke a bone in his forearm. Nobody saw it. Obviously, absolutely nobody saw it. That was about
That
reminds me, Matt. I once stabbed someone in a science lesson.
Oh, there you go. It was in maths. Yeah.
I was holding one of those with like biology, like cutting out a frog or something. One of those knives, and someone went to grab my pencil case, just being a dick. So I went to block him, but I was holding the scalpel knife and just went right back at that. Oh, school was great.
Yeah, I think we need just a full episode on Foxy school days. Next up, Matt, it's your question, so I'll come to you first on this. What's the worst Everton decision you've ever made?
Well, bringing the man back in, Mr. Klassen. So one drunken night, me and a couple of my friends, one's a big Man United supporter, one's a big Liverpool supporter. And this is the season we signed Davy Klassen, and I was dying on the Davy Klassen hill. Absolutely, he was going to be unreal for us. And if you remember, it was off the back of that really good season Ajax had when they got to the Europa League final or the UEFA Cup final, whatever it was. And then first game of the season when Rooney scored against Stoke, and he'd done that ghosting run, and he's taken about 4 defenders away with him for a week on it. Absolute hallelujah. And then he disappeared from the side, and they were giving me some stick about, oh, where's your Davy Klassen now? And I was like, no, he's going to come good. He's going to come good. And they're like, oh, what's your level of confidence? Oh, well, I'll buy a Davy Klassen shirt now. And they're like, no, you won't. No, you won't. What are you lying for? You don't like it. And I was there straight on the internet, onto the club shop, bang, 55 quid. And this was like in December or something daft like that. 55 quid. The next week we go into January and they're like about 14 quid because the price of the shirts dropped. Oh, yeah, I was having it. Davey, he's going to be great for us. He's going to be great. And then Allardyce turned up, and that was the end of it.
Yeah,
I think it was a game.
So, never. That's it. Never go into a bat for an Everton player when you've had a good drink, and your mates are calling you out because you're just going to go on the internet and go and buy a shirt. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad decision. But I think,
it was. It was a very.
So was it Allardyce that killed Klassen for you? Because I think for me, I don't know if we were playing Blackburn and he got shoved off the ball on about the halfway line, and just stayed on the floor.
Yeah.
Looked up
Do you remember?
and put his
He
head
lifted
back
his
down
head
on
up,
the
didn't he?
floor.
He lifted his head up, looked around, and put his face straight
And I was
back
like,
down.
nah, this is never going to work, mate. No chance.
Yeah. I was honestly, I was convinced that he was going to be absolutely brilliant for us.
That near post run, though, we'll always have that.
Yes, I could see it now.
We will
Play it through my
always
head
have
now. I could see everything. But honestly, I thought, no, he's going to be brilliant. And I was not having it that he was going to be a failure. Not at all. But
It didn't help we bought Sigurdsson and Rooney at the same time, buying 3 number 10s in the same.
Definitely.
yeah,
Never really helped him out.
Foxy, what's yours?
I think mine is someone quite recently. So got a membership with the club and had membership for the kids of the club. And part of the reason for that is kind of get early access to tickets, but also to be on the season, get waiting lists, if I've said that the right way around. In COVID, I kept my membership going for me. I thought, what's the point with the kids? Because we're not going to any games, it's pointless. But it meant it reset the kind of allocation to season ticket waiting list. So in the last 2 years, I've had opportunity and could have got some really nice seats, like in the lower Burlands or the paddock or something, kind of good access to see the pitch for the kids because they like to be closer to the pitch so they can see what's going on. And because I didn't pay 20 quid.
Oh, no.
And yeah, because of COVID, I can't get them. I've just, like, kids have gone to the back of that 25,000 people waiting list.
oh no.
So I could have done it last summer. I could have done it this summer. I can't. So hopefully get to Bramley-Moore Dock. We'll get kind of rectified more seats and all that stuff. But like this year, there were 2 really nice seats in the paddock, kind of towards the back of the paddock, which for the kids would have been a great view, like perfect view of the pitch. No,
Yeah.
And I had them lined up, went through checkout to get them, and like the kids thing got rescinded. So only got
Oh,
God,
my worst decision I'm most annoyed about.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
That's
all for 20 quid, all for just saving a little bit.
I was like, oh God.
Ah,
do you want to buy David Klassen shirt?
20 quid.
I'll take
What?
that. Yeah.
Lauren?
Mine was making the decision to go to a second round League Cup game against Fulham away. I want to say 2014, second Martinez, or was it first Martinez season it was. So we were playing well at the time. And I was doing a 9 to 5 at the time, and I convinced 2 of the lads to come. I said, look, I'll drive down to London. It won't be that bad. We'll be there in 3 hours and, we'll be easy. And didn't take me lunch hour till 4 because I thought, right, I can just get on the road then and leave straight away. Missed the last hour, pick them up, drive down, go. Traffic was ridiculous getting down. Missed the whole first half. Nate Smith scored to put us 1-0 up, so we missed the goal. Eventually getting in half time, the stewards had to let us through the home fans and walk us around. We explained to them the situation. We got here later, here's our tickets, that sort of thing. We lost the game 2-1, went out the cup, got back to where we parked in Ealing Broadway, and the car park, the NCP car park, had closed.
Oh.
No access to the car park. Walking around, just trying to find anyone who was out to try and contact. Rang the NCP, no answer. Ringing the NCP. Went to the police station. No one in this. It was one of them open until 10 o'clock police stations. Got on the helpline, explained the situation to them. Sorry, it's outside our jurisdiction. We can't do anything. Went into the Premier Inn. Look, we'll have to stay in the Premier Inn and then drive back at 3 a.m. Just get our heads down. No rooms in the Premier Inn. This absolute saint, God bless him, managed to ring some lad who he knew who worked for the NCP, managed to convince him to drive down and open the car park for us. We're talking now about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Leave London, drive back. I dropped my mate back because he was at Preston Uni at the time, in Preston Uni. I think we got back about, I want to say 4:30. I was up then at 8:30 to go to work, drove in, did a full day at work, 9 to 5. So never, ever again will I do a London away on a midweek when I've got work.
That's brutal. That's pretty horrible.
The things we do for them bastards. Yeah.
I mean, my tale of woe along those lines involved missing my coach to Lille and spending a night in McDonald's, King's Cross, which was soul destroying, and then wandering around London for 2 hours before we could get the first train back at 5:30.
horrible, isn't it?
That was bad. But my worst Everton decision was the Wimbledon game. Stood waiting for me mate on Goodison Island as I could see the queues building up and building up. He'd already gone in. We didn't have mobile phones, obviously. He'd already gone in. I think it got to about 12:30. I was like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to go in. So joined the queue, got locked out. I missed the Wimbledon game. After seeing all the shite we went through that season.
Yeah.
I missed that.
QPR getting beat 3-0 at home always stands out. I think there was 16,000 people there.
That was my first ever game.
Was
first
it?
ever game watching Everton. That 3-0.
Bradley Allen hat-trick, I think. Les Ferdinand didn't even score.
Yeah. So it was the winger they had back then. Really rapid winger they had. Not Impey. No. Daly was it?
Did he play
Tony
for
Daly?
Yeah, he played for Villa, didn't he? They had this rapid winger who absolutely destroyed us. Yeah. Grim.
I think that's my worst. Still.
That's my first ever game as an Everton fan. Start as you mean to go on, eh?
Yeah. It's like for people who've never sort of witnessed it, seeing 16,000 people in Goodison is dead weird. It's so empty. You know, you can sort of think, like, even for League Cup games now, when it's like second round, we tend to get about 30, don't we? And I'm harsh, but 16,000's mad. Matt Jones has asked, he was in Madrid last week, 43 degrees, brutal, worst weather you've ever experienced. Warren, will come to you first.
When I did soccer coaching in America, I worked in a week in Oklahoma, a place called Lawton, Oklahoma. And it's about 45 minutes, an hour away from Oklahoma City. It's an army-based town. So there's not a huge amount there. There's a few little shops, bars, whatever, but there's not a great amount there. There's a Walmart there. Anyway, it was at the height of the summer, and we were working one day and it was 105 degrees, but the heat index said it made it feel like 115. Which to put into Celsius, I think that's about 45, 46.
Jesus.
Yeah, but it was over there. It's a really dry heat as well. There's not like the breeze what we tend to get here, and even like the other day when we had a bit of nice weather and we had the heat wave, there's like a little breeze, or there's like a bit of. It's not like that at all. It's just a very flat, dry heat where the heat just hits you from the ground up. So it was horrible, to be honest with you. I didn't enjoy working that at all, and I love the heat, don't get me wrong. I love it when we get nice weather, but that was just a little bit too much. That was a little bit too much. I've never experienced heat like that before.
Were you coaching in that as well?
Well, fortunately, we were 8 till 11 when it's moderately cooler, and then 3 till 6 in the evening. Okay. So it was, when I say moderately cool, I'm talking like 5-10 degrees cooler, not a lot. Do you know what I mean? It was still like high 30 degrees, yeah. But in the day when it finished and you get the midday heat, it was just energy sapping and I've never experienced heat like it. It was a weird experience in a way. It was like weirdly one of them things where you go, I'm not glad, but like that's something I can say I've experienced. But yeah, it was incredible heat.
Yeah, wouldn't want to do it again.
No.
Foxy?
I used to, with the previous job, I used to travel quite a bit with work for kind of business meetings out to the Middle East. You're kind of out there wearing a suit, and it gets quite hot as well. So sometimes you're kind of out in Saudi and they make you go and stand in the middle of an airfield for 45 minutes wearing a suit just because they can. I think the worst experience was being out in Abu Dhabi and being in a nice air-conditioned building. So it's like 20 degrees air-conditioned building. And there's 50 degrees outside, and we had a car outside. You're kind of going 50 degrees, then into a car, which is just like an oven, and you're wearing a suit, and you kind of go from the coldness to the sudden heat. And it just felt like my face was melting off. It was so ridiculously hot, and you'll instantly just sweat. So you're wearing a suit, and everything is gone through. So you look like Tony Blair when he like fully sweating and everything. So I think between the cold and the heat was pretty full on.
Sweating like Tony Blair at The Hague.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Do you know what? The heat in a suit
It's not pleasant.
Nothing quite like it, is there?
No, because you have to be quite formal with these people. So there's not a lot you can do. You can't go, can I just like unbutton everything and like strip your pants or stuff? You kind of maintain that formality, and they're used to it. But also wearing anything similar to you, they're kind of wearing the local custom like stuff. So they're kind of all airy with loose fitting.
Yeah.
They're just looking at the Westerners going,
It's when your legs are sweating that you know you're hot.
Yeah.
Ah, grim.
Yeah.
Not to that at all. Matt?
Well, mine's a bit of a strange one. So, if you've ever been to Jamaica, there's a place called Duns River, which is a waterfall, and so you can go this waterfall with a two-way. So if you go like on an arranged trip, then you start at the top and then you walk down the steps right to the bottom to the beach, or if you come via catamaran, then you get off at the beach and you walk up the beach to go on it. Anyway, so we went on a excursions trip thing. So we got there, lovely, walked around, walked down the steps, absolutely fine, beautiful sunshine, about 40 odd degrees. It was boiling hot. But as you do in places like the Caribbean, you get the spontaneous, really heavy rain. So we started going up the waterfall, and as you're going up there, you go in groups and you go like in a chain. So they sort of zigzag you up, and the majority of the climb up the waterfall, you're sort of waist deep in the water. And for about 15-20 minutes, we just had this most horrendous torrential rain, and like the raindrops were like golf balls. They were just absolutely battering down, and you would stick or twist. You couldn't stand still. You couldn't duck out of the way because you're in the middle of the water, so you just had to carry on walking.
Oh man!
So you're trying to keep hold of the person in front of you. The person behind you is trying to keep hold of you, so you can't even shield yourself from it. And you just sit in ducks, and you just felt like you're just getting pelted by rocks for about 15 minutes trying to walk up this fucking waterfall that you paid like $200 to go up. So it just felt like you just paid to yourself to get absolute hammering as you're going up, and you can't take photos, and you get to the top of the thing and you just feel battered, absolutely battered and bruised.
Wow.
And then they want to take a photograph set so they can try and charge you for the photos to say, I've climbed Duns River Falls, and you look like you've been 15 miles. But yeah, that was awful, absolutely awful.
I had a similar experience gorge walking in Wales one time, but we were at least kitted out for it. But
yeah, no,
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, it was all, honestly.
If it had been in a pair of Speedos and that's it, would have been good. I've never really been anywhere excessively hot or excessively cold. So I think the coldest game we've been to was Alkmaar away. That was just unfeasibly cold in that place. I think it was like December 17th, 18th, something like that. Or I mentioned this one before. I think we drew 2-2 at home to Oldham one time. And it started off sunny. We went the game in a t-shirt, and it was snowing by half time.
Oh,
that was a
worst football conditions I had was against Rovers. Must have been about 2000 in the League Cup, and Jeffers did his ankle. So I was with the away fans, and we're outside, and there's no cover. And I went to extra time and just rained the whole time. So no cover in the stand, raining for 3 hours, and Everton lose against Rovers on penalties. One of the most depressing football experiences I've had. At the time, I lived like 500 meters up the road because I was at Union, Bristol, so I could get home really quickly. But for like all those other Everton fans going home and being soaked and going back up to like Madrid and stuff.
Everton really don't do things by halves, do they?
No.
When they get beat well, and there's always some other factors that make it even worse.
Yeah.
Somehow. Yeah. Right. Last question. Warrant had to drop off. So this last question was sent in to Matt Jones, and it was, where's it gone? Okay, so here we go. I don't know who sent it in, actually, I can't see. But anyway, he said, just been watching our goals from this season and have a question after watching Rondons against Leicester and remembering Keane against Watford. What is the best unintentional assist in history? So, yeah, so for reference there, Rondon sort of, when Richarlison scored that last, injury time equaliser, it just kind of hit his foot, didn't it? And deviated into Richarlison's path, and the Moise Keane one at Watford. It still amazes me to this day that there were people who were trying to say that was a pass. Is that another hill you're dying on, Matt?
Perfect, inch perfect. That was that pass.
It's perfect off the bottom of his foot as he swung his foot the other way. But so yeah, what's the best unintentional assist in history? The first one that sprung to my mind was Terry Fenwick for Diego Maradona in the '86 World Cup quarter-final. When he just
was that the handball?
Yeah, when he hoofed the clearance about 3 miles up in the air and it just dropped onto Maradona's hand and over into Shilton. But yeah, any advances on any of those three?
I've got different takes. My memory of football was terrible. Like even after a game, 30 minutes later, I've forgotten what's happened and who's done what. So I haven't really got a particular point in time. But I think Burnley this season, I think the assist they gave us and the fans to kind of unite and get together. So the 3-2 and the nature they had of then being so confident of staying up. I remember listening to one of the kind of podcasts that Matt did with the Burnley fan. And they were saying, oh, we're not going down, we're fine, we're safe. And it's Leeds or Everton. And they were so confident that they were safe. I think that did quite a lot to help to spur us on as a fan base to get together. All right, properly in the shit now, we need to get out of this. It's down to us.
Yeah.
The role that Burnley unintentionally played to galvanise us was huge. So thank you, Burnley. It's the only time I've ever said that and will ever say that, but thank you, Burnley, for kind of helping us get our shit together.
That's a nice
You're
take.
going to write a letter now to the Blue Room Complaints Department.
It did though, didn't it? I think after that Burnley game when we were like, oh yeah, we're fucked there. We were like on the floor after.
But it was the attitude of the Burnley fans. So there's a guy on the radio I listen to every so often. He's a Burnley fan, and they were so cock-a-hoop. And there's, I said, the person that Matt spoke to on the Blue Room is cock-a-hoop, and they're all safe. 5 points clear. They got their manager. They're going to be great now. And he won a few games, and they were so confident.
Yeah.
And I think they got too confident and they faded, and we kind of came through. But if they hadn't done that,
I think Watford away for them, that was where they thought, yeah, we're safe now, we're done. And they didn't. I don't think they won a game after that, did they?
No.
I did feel like about kicking the bums after watching that game.
Yeah,
that was sick. That was.
Sat with the kids watching it, and we all just like. We were fine, and then they scored the equaliser, and we slumped in our chairs, and then they scored like what would be the win, and we just like slipped off the couch. Like,
it was awful. I was following that on Twitter. I think it's the worst way to follow football, like on a phone, not watching. It's horrible.
I was watching it on a stream, and it was a really good stream as well, but it was about 90 seconds behind, and I was thinking, oh, this is awesome. And then scrolling through Twitter, 1-0. 2-1. And oh no! But you still got to watch it though. You still got to watch it. You can't just switch it off. You just go, it's not right. It's not right. It's not right.
It's horrific. It's the worst. That's probably about the worst thing about last season is being dependent on other teams.
Yeah,
becoming so interested in what injuries they've got, what suspensions they've got. Tarkowski is out for a bit, or me is out for a bit, and they're injured.
Yeah, having to take an interest in Burnley. I can't imagine Burnley fans take that much of an interest in Burnley themselves.
No, but I think they used to, but they weren't even selling out their games, were they? Like end of the season, you kind of watch them, they still got empty spaces and they've got a capacity of not very many.
Yeah.
I think they're just kind of more accepting of the up and down nature, whereas for us, it would have been catastrophic to.
Yeah.
I think they'll go again. I think they'll drop again.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Yeah. So, I suppose there is that. I suppose the finances for them as well, isn't it? Because they could be properly snookered with that loan. Oh well, we don't have to worry about them anymore. There you go. Matt, unintentional assists.
I thought
not being one of them.
No. I thought this was going to be Everton related, so I've got two. The biggest and obvious one is Graham Stewart in the cup final for Paul Rideout.
Oh yes.
So that was the biggest one, and the one though, the best one I think was the semi-final, Ian Walker, who I hated Ian Walker with extreme passion, and his goal kick that just went straight to Graham Stewart.
Yeah,
and that just set us on our way. I think we're through now. We're done now. We're done. You're gonna have to stick your dream final up your ass. That was done.
Yeah, didn't Joe Roll say something similar?
Yeah, he did in the press room afterwards, didn't he? Yeah. Sorry about your dream final, lads. Yeah.
Amazing. That is I think it's probably been overtaken by Palace maybe just for the total madness of it all. But I think up until then, I think that was my favourite game ever. That 4-1 against Spurs.
Just having the three sides at Ellen Road, that was, it was a home game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was unreal. I thought that would give Spurs a bit of an advantage because everyone was together. And then I got on the ground, it was like, no, this is ours now. Oh, it was outstanding. That's it for this week. There we go. We can go off and enjoy a football-free weekend. So
fantastic.
Thanks to Foxy.
It's been nice, hasn't it?
It has been nice.
It's been nice.
I'm enjoying it. I wouldn't mind being sort of just getting into a World Cup now, but I feel
a bit robbed. Having a World Cup during the season, I feel a little bit robbed by that.
It'll be a bit too much.
There's the Euros coming up, isn't there?
What's that?
There's the Euros for the ladies. So I get into a bit of the Euros coming up next couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, is it the Euros? Yeah. Give that a watch. Yeah, I can recommend the podcast as well. It's an American podcast about football, so it's called Lords of Soccer.
Okay.
But it's about FIFA corruption, and I've listened to one episode. I think it's like coming out every week or something, or every few days. So there's 2 episodes out now. I've listened to the first one. Definitely worth a listen. It's good.
Is the next one on Premier League referees corruption?
Yeah.
It's got to be one of them soon. It will come out.
It'll come out soon.
Have you just talked about that? Have you watched the one about the Italian corruption on Netflix? Oh, you need to get on that.
Right. Well,
that is. I'll find the link and send it to you because that is spectacular.
Yeah. Is this the one Juventus were implicated in?
Yeah, Modgy. Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely brilliant.
Oh yeah, I'll give that a watch then, definitely.
Yeah. I'll send you a link to it.
Delta. Lovely stuff. Right. Nice one, gents. Nice one to everyone sent the questions.
Breaking news. Wayne Rooney was resigned as the Derby County manager.
Oh, look at that. I was going to say you would have heard it first on Mailbag, but this probably won't go off for another couple of hours or so.
Well, let's timestamp this. 1743. Wayne Rooney resigned as manager.
There we go. What do you reckon next for him then, just before we go?
I got another one as well. I got another breaking news if you want it. Man City have reached an agreement with Leeds for Calvin Phillips.
Oh, that's interesting. Because I know a few Copites who were convinced he was signing for them.
42 mil.
Okay.
So let's keep going for another half an hour.
Richarlison's put out a bit of an interesting tweet.
Oh, go on.
Have you seen Richarlison's tweet?
No.
I don't know what it means, so I'll show it to you. It's a picture of Richarlison in an Everton shirt with
holding his hand up like a gun.
Oh.
And he's got TEY. I don't know what that means in Portuguese. Does that mean he's just signed a 5-year contract?
Oh, can you imagine?
Was that saying goodbye?
The Everton yay.
Oh.
That means. Who knows?
Oh.
That is cryptic with flame emoji.
Yeah. Anyway.
Probably by the time this podcast goes out, we'll all know.
For all your breaking news comes.
But he is in his Everton shirt, which bodes well.
Yeah.
There is that. Right, lads. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. Thanks to everyone for sending the questions in. We will catch you next time on Mailbag.